even a year removed from the Baton Rouge flood that we had. I mean, and now we're talking about another flood there.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's unbelievable. It's almost unfathomable. Jim, I'm here with meteorologist Jaqui Jeras, and we're just talking about the impending threat that is moving to the east into Louisiana. So you're right. It hasn't been a while since we've seen some flooding, and we could be seeing some more, Jackie, in the coming days.
The rain has been really heavy here so far. We've seen some rainfall totals in southwestern Louisiana ranging anywhere between about 4 and 8 inches, and we're talking about the potential of maybe another half of a foot to a foot on top of that. So we've had a lot of big focus, I know, on Houston lately, but this is not just a Houston event. This covers a lot of real estate, and so the big concern today now focusing in on southwest Louisiana, getting in some of these heavier rain bands, and we've been watching rainfall rates coming down around 1 to 2 inches per hour.
Yeah, and these are impressive totals that are coming, and yes, it is going to be sliding off to the east, but we don't want to deceive people. Houston could very well be in play as well later on today, so we're not really seeing these areas get into a clear zone. These rain bands just continue. So Lake Charles is one of those areas we're watching. There may be a brief break today, but another band looks like it's going to be setting up late tonight, getting into early tomorrow morning. But things will be shifting off a little bit more to the east as we head into Tuesday and then eventually into Wednesday. So Lafayette, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, those are some areas that we're now watching today for some heavier rainfall, as well as those higher totals to start coming in. We're not necessarily anticipating what we've seen in the Houston area, but we are anticipating to be seeing several inches of rain in this area with these storms coming through. So you can see heading into Tuesday night, the whole I-10 corridor here is in play for some heavy rainfall. So really, if you don't have to travel, I think it would be a good idea just to stay at home and don't go if you don't have to.
Assuming you have high enough ground where you are, definitely staying in place is a good idea. Here's a look at some of the forecast rainfall totals. And you mentioned earlier, Dr. Navarro, which I think is a really good point, it's really difficult to pinpoint the risk area where the heaviest band could potentially set up. So, you know, some of these areas are a little bit broad in terms of 10 to 16 inches of rainfall, but really anybody within this region could start to see some rainfall totals reaching that high.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jackie. If you can get a perspective here, we are anticipating double-digit rainfalls for a broad area, so that just gives you an idea of the flavor of what we are expecting. This is a lot of rain that's coming, but the exact details, especially where you see these colors changing very quickly, it's always hard to predict exactly where the heaviest bands will set up. So we could be seeing, again, we have to watch the models as they come in hour by hour to see what our latest guidance might be. But for an area like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, we're still talking the potential for 6 to 8 inches of rain. This is now through Friday. So this is going to be multiple days of rain that we're talking about. There's not really a big change as we move forward in time. So it looks like we could be seeing for the next 5 days considerable amounts of rain coming down, especially, look at this, we're talking about 12 to 18 inches, a foot to a foot and a half more of rain for Houston.
Just incredible. And New Orleans could get in on some of these heavier amounts, pushing up towards a foot if that were happen. Such bad news there. Of course, their pump system still compromised right now. We'll head back to the field.